Hi, I'm Ems, aka on Dark and Wings. In this video, I'll be transforming a decorative cake stand into a decorative display board for my miniatures. This is something I've never actually considered using before, even though I build a lot of my own DIY terrain. But I thought it would be great for like terrain, display boards, or like a gaming board. I saw them reduced in a supermarket and I knew I had to have them. So let's get cracking. So this is the board out of the packaging. It's quite shiny and reflective. It has like this aluminium layering on it, but it's pretty thick and robust. You like it thick? But when I flip it over, it has this cardboard sort of material on it. I'm not sure how well things will stick to the shiny side, so I'm going to use this side and we're going to start adding some texture. If I wanted to keep on brand with being a cheapskate, I could use this texture repair stuff. This is great if you're on a budget, if you want to make a terrain board or some bases. However, it can be a little bit finicky, it can flake and it's kind of hard to get the right texture sometimes, but it's alright. However, I have this sandy paste from Vallejo, which is pretty cool. This is a 500ml tub, and I got this from Jackson's Art, which is an awesome art supply site. This was about £13. So I've just poured out some of this sandy paste, and we're just going to apply it. Forbidden frosting. I apologise to any plasterers or DIY experts, I'm pretty terrible at applying this, but it gets the job done. It wouldn't be a cake without some sprinkles, so I'm adding this stuff. This is just to add some additional textures and variation. I really like this container. I bet you could probably do this yourself if you got like an old salt shaker or something and put some sand or some bits in it. Damn, I really want cake now. I apologise if you're someone who's trying to go back on the sweet things. Damn cookies and cream. Now that the cake's baked, the terrain's dried, I wanted to add some additional features. So I have quite a lot of failed 3D prints and leftover supports. Yeah, 3D printing will definitely bankrupt Games Workshop. Yeah. Anyway, I've got some interesting pieces to go at, and I also have some failed busts that I've made. These are in no way Games Workshop affiliated. No, please don't sue me. These are Galactic Space Warriors. Yes, Galactic Space Warrior failed busts. And Galactic World War I soldier busts. So I glued these down, added some additional textured paste, and then primed it all in black. And then I added some silver paint from Colourforge. Really cool company, Colourforge. They colour match with Citadel paints, and I'll put the link in my description. And then I added some matte varnish to the silver parts. The varnish is because I'll be using some oil washes later on. Now that this sandy paste and the gravel is dried, it's made some wonderful textures, which I'll now dry brush. I'm just using some cheap craft paint. I'll also be using a makeup brush to dry brush with. These are great and inexpensive, and you don't want to be using your best artist rip-off dry brushes when using them for terrain. Dry brushing terrain and scatter pieces is like one of the most fun and cathartic things. Yes, I lead a very, very exciting life. Oil paints are really awesome for terrain as well, especially weathered metal. You can just pick these up cheap. Obviously you can't thin them with water, so you have to use a mineral spirit. I really hate working with white spirit, so I tend to use a low odor spirit or this fruit scented stuff, which is weird but works really well. So the reason I use matte varnish is, you might already know, but it creates a buffer zone between your paint underneath and then the oil. So once you put the oil paints down, it's easier to wipe away. So you just let the oil paint settle for like 10 minutes and then wipe it away with a cotton bud, or you could use a baby wipe. I will be using some pigments as well, but if you're on a budget or you're working on quite a big project, you can just grab some spices. These work really well and just glue them down. Just watch you don't rub it in your eyes if you're working with something that's spicy. If you can't be arsed with oils, contrast paints work really well if you just thin them down. So I'm going to be using these first. So I lost some footage here, and I'm just explaining that I used some oil paints, put them with some spirits, and then put them in a container to thin them down. Here I've just let the oil settle, and then I'm wiping away some of the excess. If you've made it this far into the video, here's a star sticker for you. Well done, you don't have the attention span of a goldfish. Also, if you are enjoying this video and don't mind my cringe humour, consider liking, subscribing, etc, etc. Please, I'll be your friend. Now back to the video, if you're still here. I dry brushed a little bit of shiny metallic silver just to add a bit more depth. After this it's time for the pigments, so I'm just getting a small brush with no water on and dabbing that on. But you could also add some water afterwards as well. I know that flow aid improver and there's other things you can use to make it set. I just wanted to add some more weathering to the concrete part, so I'm using this green earth. Crushing up chalk is a great cheap way of doing this. And I'm just zooming in here because my setup's slightly better than it used to be if you watch my old videos. As you might know me, I really enjoy weathering in rust. To quote one of my favourite movie franchises of all time, Tetsuo Iron Man, together we can turn the whole world to rust. Niche ramblings over with, here's the final results. I really like this. I think it turned out awesome. So I'm super happy with how this board turned out in the end. It's really thick and robust. It's a lot better than the MDF and plywood that I've used previously, and I'll definitely be using this again. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe if you want to, and remember to enjoy your hobbies for yourself. Respect the fact that other people enjoy them in their own way, and at the end of the day, they're just war dollies. I'll see you again.